Stop right here. Before you finish reading, let me ask you something that will change your view of the world forever. Do you believe that being kind keeps you safe? Do you believe that being kind protects you? That generosity builds loyalty? That honesty earns respect? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are about to discover the most dangerous lie society has ever told you. Since childhood, we've been told, be kind, be giving, put others first. But no one ever told us the hidden cost of goodness. Because while kindness can build bridges, unchecked kindness can also destroy you. Think of the man who sacrifices everything for others, his time, his energy, his dreams. People clap for him, but behind the applause, he's invisible, forgotten, used. This is the shocking truth. Goodness, without boundaries, turns you into prey. Today, we're uncovering the hidden cost of being too good and how to transform kindness into strength without losing yourself. In this video, the shocking cost of goodness. Machiavelli's hidden truth. We'll uncover why kindness often backfires, how blind generosity can destroy your legacy, and how to balance compassion with power so your goodness never becomes your downfall. This is not about rejecting kindness, it's about mastering it, about learning to give without being consumed, to help without being used, and to build a life where respect outlasts applause. If you're new here, welcome to Machiavelli's Code. Subscribe now and join a community that dives deep into the hidden truths of human nature, power, and survival. If this message resonates with you, hit the like button and share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective. 1. Goodness as exposure. Kindness is often spoken of as if it were armor, as if being a good person automatically shields you from harm. But in the real world, kindness without boundaries is not armor at all. It is exposure. The more you make yourself endlessly available, the more you forgive without hesitation, the more you give without pause, the less people see you as strong. Instead, they begin to see you as safe to use, safe to lean on, safe to exploit. Picture the man in the office who never says no. He is the one who stays late when everyone else has already gone home. He is the one who covers shifts, carries the extra weight, and keeps the team afloat. At first, he is celebrated. People pat him on the back, calling him dependable and selfless. But over time, something changes. Gratitude turns into expectation. His effort is no longer seen as a gift. It is seen as a duty. They don't respect him for his sacrifices. They rely on him because of them. And when reliance replaces respect, his kindness loses all of its value. This is the paradox of unchecked goodness. What begins as generosity often ends as invisibility. People grow so accustomed to your giving that they stop noticing it. They begin to assume it. And when the day comes that you finally draw a line, when you dare to say no after years of saying yes, you're no longer seen as kind. You are suddenly labeled selfish. They forget the countless favors, the sleepless nights, the quiet sacrifices. In their eyes, your kindness was not a choice. It was an obligation. And once an obligation is broken, disappointment takes its place. This is why goodness, when left unguarded, becomes dangerous. It empties you while empowering others. It drains your energy, your time, your patience, until you no longer recognize yourself. And worse, it teaches those around you that your needs are secondary to theirs, that your life exists to serve them, that your heart has no limits. But true kindness is not the absence of boundaries. True kindness is strength under control. It is choosing when to give, and just as importantly, when not to. It is recognizing that saying no is not cruelty, it is self-respect. Because only a man who respects himself can give authentically to others. Only a man who protects his energy can share it in a way that truly matters. If you want people to value your kindness, you must first value it yourself. You must stop pouring endlessly into empty cups. You must learn to give where your energy multiplies, not where it evaporates. People will always take as much as you allow. They will consume your generosity until nothing is left, and then they will question why you cannot give more. Protecting your kindness is not selfish, it is survival. So ask yourself, is your kindness strengthening you or destroying you? Is it building respect, or is it erasing it? Is it leaving you fulfilled, or is it leaving you empty? These are not easy questions, but they are necessary ones, because in the end, your kindness is only as powerful as the boundaries that protect it. Remember this truth. Kindness should be a gift, not a sacrifice of your soul. If you give it wisely, it will inspire respect. If you give it blindly, it will invite exploitation. Affirmation. I protect my energy. My kindness is not free. 2. The generosity trap. Giving feels noble. Helping feels right. We are taught that generosity is one of the highest virtues, that to give freely is to live meaningfully. And there is truth in that. Kindness can create connection, compassion can ease suffering, and generosity can leave ripples that change lives. But here's the hidden reality. Too much giving, without balance or boundaries, slowly erases its value. What once felt extraordinary becomes ordinary. What once felt like a gift becomes an expectation. Think about this carefully. The first time you give someone a gift, their eyes light up. They feel special. They feel seen. The second time, they are happy again. But repeat it 10 times, 20 times, and watch what happens. The gratitude fades. The smile weakens. The novelty disappears. And then, the most dangerous shift of all occurs. They stop noticing. Your giving, once treasured, has now blended into the background of their life. It is no longer celebrated. It is assumed. And when the day comes that you stop giving, when life demands that you save some of your energy for yourself, they don't remember the countless times you said yes. They don't hold on to the sacrifices you made in silence. Instead, they feel betrayed. They ask, why not now? As if your generosity was not a choice, but a duty. That is the trap. Generosity, if constant and unguarded, becomes invisible. And once it is invisible, it is no longer appreciated. It is demanded. This is where many kind-hearted people lose themselves. They believe that the more they give, the more loved they will be. But love that depends on endless giving is not real love. It is dependency disguised as affection. If someone only values you for what you provide, then they do not value you. They value the service you offer, the comfort you supply, the resources you hand over. And when those things run out, so does their loyalty. True generosity is not measured by quantity. It is measured by intention. A single act of giving, done with sincerity and meaning, holds more power than 100 empty gestures. When you give wisely, you create moments that last. When you give endlessly, you dilute the very thing you are trying to share. Think of water. Too little, and a plant withers. The right amount, and it thrives. But too much, and it drowns. Generosity works the same way. Without balance, it stops giving life and starts taking it away, both from you and from the one you are trying to help. Protect your generosity. Use it where it matters. Offer it to those who appreciate, not those who consume. Because your energy, your time, your heart, they are limited resources. If you scatter them everywhere, they lose their power. If you direct them with wisdom, they transform lives, including your own. Generosity should be purposeful, not endless. It should strengthen you, not drain you. It should remind others of your value, not erase it. And most importantly, it should never come at the cost of your own well-being. Affirmation: I give with wisdom. My generosity has purpose. 3. The illusion of gratitude. We all hope that people will remember our kindness. Deep down, we want to believe that the good we do will leave a lasting mark, that the moments we stand by someone in their pain will be etched in their hearts forever. But reality is harsher. Gratitude doesn't last the way we think it does. It fades, sometimes quickly, sometimes without a trace. You may have been there for a friend in their darkest hour. Maybe you gave them money when they had nothing. Maybe you offered your time when you barely had enough for yourself. Maybe you carried their secrets, their fears, their weight, without ever asking for recognition. And for a moment, they seemed grateful. They said thank you. They promised they would never forget. But life has a cruel way of testing promises. The day comes when you cannot give. You are tired or busy, or simply need to put yourself first. And suddenly, all those years of kindness vanish from their memory. They don't recall the nights you stayed awake to comfort them. They don't remember the sacrifices you quietly made. All they see is the one time you said no. And in their disappointment, they paint you as selfish, uncaring, or even disloyal. It's not always because people are evil. It's because human memory is short, and human desire is endless. We remember what we need today more than what we received yesterday. Gratitude is a fleeting emotion. It doesn't bind itself to loyalty the way we imagine it should. This is why relying on gratitude is dangerous. If your kindness is fueled by the hope that people will always appreciate you, you will end up bitter and broken, because no matter how much you give, someone will always want more. No matter how much you sacrifice, someone will always see the one thing you didn't do. The lesson here is not to stop being kind, but to stop expecting gratitude as your reward. True strength comes when you give, not to be remembered, but because it aligns with your character. When you help, not to secure loyalty, but because you chose to act with integrity. When you shift your mindset from seeking gratitude to creating respect, everything changes. Respect is built on consistency, boundaries, and authenticity. Gratitude is temporary, but respect can endure. Respect does not come from endless giving. It comes from balanced giving, from showing people that while you are willing to help, you also value yourself enough to stand firm. So the next time you feel disappointed because someone forgot your kindness, remind yourself, people forget. That is their nature. But what they will not forget is the way you carried yourself. Did you give with dignity? Did you stand with strength? Did you protect yourself while you protected others? That is what creates respect, and respect lasts longer than gratitude ever could. Affirmation: I don't seek gratitude, I create respect. 4. The mask of virtue. Most people believe the world will notice their goodness. They think that if they are kind, selfless, and always available, others will automatically respect them. But life doesn't work that way. People don't live inside your thoughts. They don't measure your intentions. They measure your actions, your boundaries, your ability to say yes or no. If you give endlessly without protecting yourself, they will not see you as noble. They will see you as easy. If you forgive everything without consequence, they won't admire your heart. They'll test your patience until you break. The world does not reward unchecked kindness. It consumes it. Think about this. When someone gives you a glass of water in the desert, you feel grateful. But if that same person hands you water every single day without asking, the gratitude fades. Eventually it becomes normal. And if one day they stop, you may even feel wronged, as if you were owed that generosity. This is how human nature works. It doesn't mean people are evil. It means people adapt. They normalize what they repeatedly receive. If you never show limits, they stop recognizing your value. What was once kindness becomes expectation. What was once generosity becomes a habit they don't even see. This is why strength must always walk beside goodness. Real kindness is not endless self-sacrifice. It is measured, intentional, and rooted in self-respect. To give without wisdom is to slowly drain yourself dry. To help without boundaries is to teach others that your energy is theirs to use. Picture two men at work. The first always says yes. He stays late, covers shifts, and never complains. Do his colleagues admire him? Number. They depend on him, even exploit him. The second man helps when he can, but says no when it crosses his limits. Do people call him selfish? Sometimes. But deep down, they respect him. They know he cannot be pushed beyond what he chooses. The truth is this: people don't remember what you intended. They remember what you tolerated. They remember whether you stood firm or fell silent when you should have spoken. They remember if your kindness carried strength or if it was just another form of weakness. So, protect your energy. Protect your heart. Let your goodness shine, but let it be wrapped in the armor of boundaries. When people see both your compassion and your firmness, they recognize something rare: true power. Because the world doesn't admire those who give everything away. It admires those who can give without losing themselves. Affirmation: I protect my energy. My kindness is not free. 5. Results over intentions. Intentions don't protect you. Results do. You may have the kindest heart, the purest thoughts, and the most noble dreams, but the world doesn't reward what stays locked inside. People don't live in your mind. They don't feel the sincerity you carry inside. They only see the trail of your actions, the things you build, and the outcomes you leave behind. Think about a father. He may love his children deeply. He may dream of giving them the world. But if he never provides, if he never shows up when they need him, his intentions will not protect his legacy. The children will remember the hunger, the absence, the lack of security, not the quiet love he carried in his heart. Or take a leader. A leader may speak endlessly about peace, about fairness, about building a better world. But if he fails to keep his people safe, if he allows chaos to reign, he will not be remembered as a visionary. He will be remembered as weak. His intentions will not shield him from judgment. His lack of results will define him. Even in friendship, the truth holds. A friend who promises support, who says, "I'll always be there," but disappears when tested, is not seen as loyal. No one says, "But he meant well." People say, "I couldn't count on him." And once that judgment is made, it's nearly impossible to erase. This is the harsh reality. People measure us not by what we feel, but by what we do. Good thoughts are invisible. Noble feelings are silent. The world sees only action and consequence. Does this mean intentions don't matter? Not entirely. Intentions shape direction, but they are only the beginning. They are like a seed. Without action, a seed is just a dream buried in soil. Without water, sun, and care, it will never become a tree. The world does not eat the promise of fruit. It eats the fruit itself. Ask yourself, how often have you excused your lack of results by clinging to your good intentions? How often have you thought, "They'll understand what I meant," only to realize later that they judged you by what you failed to do? This is the gap between who we think we are and how the world experiences us. The truth is simple, but heavy. Results build trust, not intentions. Results earn respect, not promises. Results carry weight, not dreams. You may not always succeed, but consistent effort, visible action, and tangible results will always earn you more respect than the best of intentions left unfinished. So let your actions carry your heart. Let your results speak the language your intentions cannot. Stop seeking to be understood for what you meant. Start striving to be remembered for what you did. Because at the end of the day, the world does not reward silent intentions. It rewards visible strength. Affirmation: I focus on results, not just intentions. 6. The economics of power. Your time, your energy, your emotions, they are resources, and resources are limited. Most people never stop to think about this. They act as if their energy is endless, as if they can keep giving, keep saying yes, keep pouring themselves into others without ever running dry. But every day you are withdrawing from an account that has no infinite balance. And one day, if you're not careful, you'll wake up to find that account empty. Empty of dreams. Empty of power. Empty of yourself. This is the greatest cost of unchecked goodness. It is not that others take from you. It's that you give until nothing remains. Think of a candle. A candle gives light, and everyone loves the warmth it provides. But the more it burns for others, the smaller it becomes. If it never rests, if it never conserves, it disappears entirely. People will remember the light for a moment, but the candle itself will be gone. Too many lives are lived exactly this way. Maybe you felt it yourself. You say yes to a friend's endless needs, even when you are exhausted. You listen to someone's problems for hours, even when your own heart is breaking. You carry burdens that aren't yours, telling yourself it's noble, telling yourself it's love. But slowly, quietly, you lose touch with your own needs, your own path, your own peace. Goodness without limits becomes self-erasure. What began as compassion turns into depletion. What started as love turns into quiet resentment. And the tragedy is that the people you gave everything to may not even notice when you collapse, because they were never trained to protect you. They were trained by your behavior to expect you. This is why boundaries matter. Not because you want to be cold or selfish, but because you want to last. You want your light to burn steady, not fade into ashes. Protecting your resources, your time, your energy, your emotions, is the only way to make sure your kindness remains sustainable, not self-destructive. True strength is not in giving endlessly. True strength is in choosing wisely where to invest. A wise person knows that every yes is also a no to something else. Every hour spent on what drains you is an hour stolen from what could have built you. So the question becomes, where do you want your life to grow? Do you want to spend your resources chasing validation from others, or do you want to invest them in building a life you won't regret? The people who last, the people who are both kind and respected, are those who give with wisdom, not guilt. They know that self-preservation is not selfishness. It is the foundation of a life that can keep giving without falling apart. Protect your resources. Choose where to invest your heart. Because the truth is, if you don't, someone else will choose for you. And when they do, the cost will always be you. Affirmation: I protect my resources. I choose where to invest my heart. 7. Legacy and survival. Here's the painful truth. The world doesn't remember the one who gave everything and disappeared. It remembers the one who stood strong enough to leave a mark. History is filled with countless people who were generous, selfless, and endlessly giving, but forgotten. Their kindness was consumed, their energy drained, their names erased by time. Why? Because goodness without strength doesn't endure. It shines briefly, then fades. Being too good may win you short-term applause. People may praise your heart, admire your generosity, and call you noble. But that praise rarely lasts. Once the giving stops, once the applause fades, what remains? Often nothing. A life spent serving everyone else, but remembered by no one. Legacy is not built on endless sacrifice. Legacy is built on balance. To be remembered, to be respected, you must pair your kindness with firmness, your generosity with boundaries, your compassion with strength. Without that balance, you risk becoming invisible, useful in the moment, but forgotten afterward. Think of the people you truly respect in your own life. Are they the ones who said yes to everything, who gave until they collapsed? Or are they the ones who gave wisely, who helped with strength, who stood firm even when it was difficult? Respect comes not from pleasing everyone, but from holding steady when others waver. A person who is too good is often mistaken for weak. They may mean well, but without boundaries, they become forgettable. People take what they offer, then move on. But the person who balances kindness with authority, who says no when it matters, who stands tall even in silence, this is the person who leaves a lasting imprint. Life is short, but memory is even shorter. If you want to leave something behind, if you want to be remembered not just as nice, but as strong, you must protect your presence. You must value your own energy as much as you value others. This doesn't mean hardening your heart. It doesn't mean rejecting kindness. It means elevating kindness so it carries weight. So it is not mistaken for weakness, but recognized as a choice, a conscious act of strength. Ask yourself, when you are gone, what will people say? That you were always good, easy to use, always bending, or that you were someone who carried both compassion and power, someone who gave but never disappeared, someone whose presence demanded respect? Legacy is not built on being remembered for how much you gave. Legacy is built on being remembered for how you stood, for your values, your boundaries, your courage, your strength. So stop striving to be endlessly good. Strive to be good with weight, with dignity, with presence. Because the truth is simple. The world does not remember those who vanish quietly. It remembers those who leave a mark. Affirmation: I choose strength before weakness. My legacy matters. 8. Strategic kindness. So what is the answer? Should we stop being good? Number. But we must stop being blindly good. Too many people confuse kindness with self-destruction. They believe that to be good means to always give, always forgive, always bend. They wear themselves out trying to please everyone, believing that one day the world will thank them. But the world rarely does. Instead, it consumes them, then moves on to the next giver. True kindness is not about giving everything. It's about giving wisely. It's about knowing the difference between helping and enabling, between compassion and weakness, between generosity and exploitation. Saying yes when it matters can heal lives, but saying yes to everything can destroy your own. Real kindness requires courage, the courage to say no when a request crosses your limits, the courage to protect your energy so that your giving remains meaningful. Think of a doctor. A doctor's purpose is to heal. But if the doctor works endlessly without sleep, without rest, without boundaries, what happens? Exhaustion sets in. Mistakes are made. The very gift of healing becomes dangerous. The doctor's kindness, without wisdom, harms more than it helps. It's the same with you. Your heart is powerful, but only when paired with discernment. You cannot be everything to everyone. You cannot pour endlessly without ever refilling. Blind goodness doesn't heal, it weakens. Wise goodness, however, transforms. This is why effective kindness is rare. It requires self-awareness. It requires boundaries. It requires the ability to face guilt and misunderstanding when you say no, and still stand firm. Many people cannot do this. They choose the easier path, pleasing, giving, bending. But that path leads to emptiness. Ask yourself, are you giving because it's right, or because you fear rejection? Are you forgiving because it's healing, or because you're afraid of conflict? Are you saying yes because you truly want to, or because you're scared of disappointing others? These questions are uncomfortable, but they separate blind goodness from wise goodness. The world doesn't need more people who burn out trying to be endlessly good. It needs people whose kindness is steady, intentional, and strong. People who know when to open their hands and when to close them. People whose goodness heals, not weakens. So don't stop being good. Stop being blind. Choose kindness that protects you as much as it serves others. Kindness that endures. Kindness that builds respect, not resentment. Affirmation: I choose effective kindness. My heart serves with wisdom. So remember this. Kindness without strength is not protection. It is exposure. If you give blindly, people may take without limit. If you forgive endlessly, people may forget your worth. The shocking cost of goodness is not that it makes you loved. It's that it can make you invisible. But when your kindness is paired with firmness, when your compassion walks hand in hand with boundaries, then your goodness carries weight. It is no longer weakness. It is power. That is the hidden truth Machiavelli understood. Respect is built not on endless giving, but on the balance of heart and strength. If this video opened your eyes, don't let the lesson fade. Carry it with you, apply it, and protect the value of your own life. If you found this powerful, make sure to subscribe to Machiavelli's Code for more insights that reveal the raw, uncomfortable truths about human nature and power. Hit the like button if this spoke to you, and share your thoughts in the comments. I want to know, have you ever paid the price of being too good?